And KVGC News Time is 8 minutes after the hour of 7 o'clock. Time for a look at the news for a Wednesday. It is the first day of November for 2017. Well, CAL FIRE will be conducting a timber understory control burn on Sierra Pacific Industries land off of Shake Ridge Road, east of Fiddletown Road. Weather and conditions permitting, of course. Now, the plan is to burn a total of 60 acres between today and Thursday. And on the phone with us right now is actually Rob Withrow of CAL FIRE. Rob, good morning.
Good morning, Jim.
Now, notice I didn't give you a promotion today. Because I don't know how much higher you can go. You know, you've made it pretty much up up the entire ladder at CAL FIRE now. So
I like it.
So anyway, Rob, we've got this 60-acre burn you guys are going to do today and tomorrow. Is that what I understand?
Yeah, that is correct. That's our hope anyway. Couple of things I just wanted to sort of explain a little bit regarding that. You know, these burns can seem a little counterintuitive, you know, especially with what's happened in recent weeks with these large fires here in the North State. But actually, these go a long way in helping us prevent and combat those fires. So it's kind of it's sort of a double-edged sword, if you will, because there is some risk involved, but the gain or the benefits far outweigh the risks many times. So,
Rob, I noticed you use the term shaded fuel break, and I've heard that term before. What exactly does that mean, shaded fuel break?
I think when we talk about fuel reduction and fuel breaks and things like that, clearly that would indicate that we're going to remove some vegetation from an area and convert it back to grass, or in some cases maybe even back to bare soil. But a shaded fuel break is we're just dealing with the understory. The stand of timber itself, the healthy, mature trees are left in place. Occasionally those get thinned out some just to help improve forest health. But generally speaking, we're just taking care of the understory, the brush, the overpopulation sometimes of small saplings and things that not only carry fire but also have a negative impact on the overall health of that stand of timber in that area.
So this would be basically the vegetation that's shaded from the canopy of the trees?
Yeah, exactly right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why don't you just say we're going to be burning the stuff that's low?
All
the low brush.
We're
going to burn the brush off. So.
Yeah, there you go.
Rob, a couple of questions, and I know you probably don't have the answer to this, but we were talking about this at the station, in fact, on Monday, actually. We've got some pretty hefty weather coming in this weekend. Will that affect the burn restrictions, or is CAL FIRE still a little on edge because, statewide, like you say, I just read this morning where CAL FIRE is calling the wine country fires now 100% contained. I think it was as of yesterday.
Yeah.
That
will have an effect. We'll reevaluate early on Monday and see how much rain we actually get. And we would like to lift the burn restrictions because we want people to, obviously clean up, create that defensible space, and pile burning is a part of that. So, we'll see exactly what this storm produces and kind of reevaluate from there. But we are having those discussions even this morning. So.
Uh-huh. Rob, how much? Let's get back to today's burn today and tomorrow. Are we going to see a lot of smoke from this here in Amador County?
Yeah, we are. There's a couple of burns going on. The U.S. Forest Service is also conducting some controlled burns farther up in the area, the general area of Caples Lake.
Right.
So we'll see some of that smoke. And then we will see some smoke, obviously, from our burn today at Shake Ridge Road. Hopefully it won't be too bad, but there'll absolutely be some smoke.
All right. Rob Withrow, thank you very much for giving us the call. And so now that winter's almost here, you guys just take next couple of months off, or do you have to clean the engines and rewind the hoses and stuff?
So that's a great question, and actually. We don't take this time off. We do downsize a little bit. Monday, again, if we get these storms, we'll we'll go down to what we say is one engine per station. So our 2 engine stations will downstaff down to 1 engine, and we kind of just change gears, Jim. We're always in response mode. We're always available for emergency response, but our job shifts from fighting fire more to preventing fire.
Sure.
And this shaded fuel break we're working on is a big part of that. We've got other fuel reduction projects throughout the county and throughout the state that we'll start committing more resources to, and trying to get those.
That was going to be my next question. Are we going to see more burns in? I know you're just with the Amador El Dorado, but will we see Tuolumne Calaveras also do some control burns throughout the winter too? Yeah,
you will. I think just about every unit in the state has control burns. It's just kind of it's a timing game. We need the rain, but too much rain kind of puts us out of business too. So
yeah. Hey, Rob, I don't want to keep you on the phone much longer. I know you have a meeting to get to, but were you able to go to the wine country fires? Were you able to check any of the devastation out up there?
No, I was not. I was assigned here in the unit. We did send a significant amount of resources up there, of course, but no, I was not. Just talking to folks, I'll share one quick story. I have a family member who's in the fire service there in Sonoma County, and I spoke to him regarding the fire that came down into the city of Santa Rosa, and pretty amazing stories coming out of there. At one point, I know they were, as they were evacuating people. It's hard when you have a wind-driven fire like that, as you can imagine. Early on, you're not able to fight a lot of fire. Mainly, you're trying to get people out of harm's way.
Right.
Mother Nature is totally in control. And one of the things that I thought was sort of a extraordinary scenario was they were taking people, complete strangers, putting them in cars together and just getting them out of the way. And all those things that come along with evacuations. It's pretty there'll be more stories to surface of ordinary people really stepping up and helping out their neighbors, and of course first responders, law enforcement, etc., going the extra mile, just trying to help people out. But scary situation for sure.
Talking with Rob Withrow of CAL FIRE. Rob, have you ever been on a fire where you just had to bug out? It was like, hey, this is out of control. We have to get out of here.
Yeah, I have. One that always comes to mind several years ago was the Cedar Fire in San Diego County in 2003, and I remember I happened to be assigned to Southern California early on before that fire had started, covering another unit. And we got to the Cedar Fire up there in eastern San Diego County on the first day, and that was a similar situation. We certainly did our best fighting some fire, but there was more than once where we had to step aside. But I've had that happen. I would say most large-scale fires like we saw a few weeks ago, it's give and take of terms of firefighting. There's times when you're, right on the fire's edge, and there's times when you got to step back for a minute and regroup. But yeah, absolutely.
All right. So, Rob, this is going to be a 60-acre burn between today and tomorrow.
That's our goal, yeah, weather permitting. Again, the one thing I wanted to touch on is we have a prescription for this, Jim, that says, the humidity's got to be at a certain percentage, fuel moisture, etc. And as long as we stay within that prescription, we're going to hope to burn up to 60 acres for the next 2 days.
Everything look okay for that?
Yeah, so far so good.
Okay, when do you make the final determination if you're going to burn off?
It'll be at about 9 o'clock this morning.
Okay, if you don't burn it, give us a call. Let us know. Okay?
Yeah, absolutely, I will.
And this again is going to be on SPI property off of Shake Ridge, east of Fiddletown Road.
Yeah, it truly is. And I wanted to make one more quick point for.
Sure.
This is in cooperation with SPI. They're a very good cooperator of ours, very active in our vegetation management program. But one thing I wanted to point out in this particular area that I thought was worth highlighting is not this fire season, but last fire season, we actually had a lightning fire that occurred in the fuel break. And because of that understory being cleared out, we were able to get in there and contain it pretty small. What in an area that is, as you know, being familiar with the eastern part of the county there, we've got some real potential for large, damaging fires. And because of this particular fuel break, that lightning fire was able to be extinguished at just a couple of acres.
Great.
So it pays off.
Rob Withrow, thank you very much for the call. It's always a pleasure to talk with you.
Likewise, thank you, Jim.
And again, let us know after 9 o'clock if you do not burn this off today.
Yeah, I certainly will.
All right. Rob Withrow, CAL FIRE, thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right. Well, get ready for sticker shock at the gas pump. Starting today, gasoline prices will go up by 12 cents per gallon. The hike will help to raise money for fixing roads and highways in the state. Diesel taxes will go up by 20 cents a gallon as well. Now, critics of the tax claim Californians already pay some of the highest gas prices in the nation. And by 2031, you can expect to pay even more at the pump because of the state's cap and trade program and low carbon fuel standard. Worst case scenario, according to some experts, is that we could be seeing anywhere from $1.89 to $2 per gallon more in added costs by them. Now, in contrast, AAA says that the rise in gas will be mitigated because it coincides with the annual shift to a winter blend of gasoline, which is generally, cheaper, reduces the price by about 6 cents per gallon. Now, there is a state ballot measure to repeal this tax. It was submitted in July. It asks voters to repeal the new transportation revenue package. Hopefully that will make it to a ballot soon. And a Friday afternoon accident in Calaveras County has claimed the life of a Lodi man. According to the CHP, Christopher Murray was driving his 2000 Mazda sedan eastbound on Winton Road at a high rate of speed, failed to negotiate a curve in the roadway, lost control. The vehicle left the roadway and collided with a tree. Murray was not wearing a seatbelt and sustained fatal injuries. The collision is still under investigation. Now, the CHP reports that alcohol and or drugs are believed to be a factor. The case has been turned over to the Calaveras County Coroner's Office. And tickets are still available today for the annual Amador County Historical Society dinner. It's set for this Sunday at Teresa's Restaurant. This year's event will feature June Somerville, local author and historian. Somerville's talk will feature highlights from her latest book, Legends of the Trails. Legends of the Trails is a look at what life in the Sierra Nevada was like before the ski resorts and when cattle and sheep drives were still held each year. Also raising children at times without running water or electricity, being part of a tight-knit community that was snowed in for months at a time, and exploring the beauty and history of the Sierra Nevada are all part of June's experience that she will share from her book. Doors open up Sunday at 4:30 at Teresa's dinner. Tickets are $30. They will be available at the door, or why not call ahead and let them know if you're coming at 257-1485, 257-1485. And that's a quick look at local news on this Gold Country Wednesday morning. Want to thank Rob Withrow of CAL FIRE for giving us the call this morning. Again, 60 acres being burned off later today and tomorrow here in Amador County. And as Rob said, we've got those other Forest Service fires that we were talking about. They're during some control burns up around Caples Lake and Kirkwood, and we could see some smoke from those. Those haven't bothered us over the last couple of days, but definitely we'll see some smoke from this later CAL FIRE burn. And that's a look at local news from the KVGC News Center. I'm Jim Geedy reporting.